Hello everyone, and today we're going to try to repair this chip in the Mustang's windshield. Sadly, when going down the interstate, a rock decided to give the Mustang a nice little love tap. So, let's get started. And to fix this chip, we went ahead and bought a windshield repair kit online, and it's from Permatex. And the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and clean our windshield. So go ahead and grab your glass cleaner and your microfiber cloth. Just like a majority of our jobs, we want to start with a very clean surface. Once the windshield is clean, the first thing we're going to grab out of the kit is the push pin. And we're going to use this to clean out any loose glass or debris within the chip. This step you definitely want to take your time on and make sure you do a very thorough job. The better job you do here, the more likely it is the resin's going to be able to fill that void and make the chip transparent. And now that we dug out as much loose glass as possible, let's clean the surface one more time, and we're going to be using the alcohol prep pad that's supplied within the kit. Next, let's go ahead and grab our adhesive disc. Now there's a green side and a white side. Both sides have an adhesive backing. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the green side just because I can. Let's see if I can peel this off. There we go. And you're going to go ahead and put the adhesive on your windshield, and you want to match up the circle with the bullseye. So basically you want to put the chip at the very center of that disc. And let's see if I can get this nice and flat. There we go. And that looks pretty good, and the chip is in the very center. Now let's go ahead and remove the other adhesive lining. Next, we'll go ahead and grab our pedestal and attach to the disc. And all I have to do is match up the shape of the pedestal to the shape of the disc, basically making it so it's very center. And we're going to press it down just to make sure there's no voids or air bubbles. And now we'll go ahead and grab our resin. Now it still has the cap on, so I'm going to have to take that off, but this is going to be the stuff that's going to be used to fill the void within the chip. So let's see if I can get it within the pedestal. And you want to put about half in there. You don't want to use the whole amount of resin, you just want to put about half to 3/4 of it. You want to have a little bit left over. And now we can grab our syringe and go ahead and install it within the pedestal. And you want to make sure it's nice and tight and firm. You do not want to allow any air to go through when you're using the syringe. And now we're going to pull back on the plunger, and you're going to pull back until you can go to the furthest notch from your fingers. And once you get it there, you're going to lock it in place using the metal clip that's attached to the syringe. And there you go.
A few moments later.
And after about 10 minutes have passed, we can go ahead and remove the syringe, allow air to go ahead and enter the pedestal. And we'll go ahead and let that sit for just a minute, and then we're going to go ahead and reinstall the syringe. Now, as you're installing the syringe, make sure you don't push on the plunger quite yet. You want to make sure it's firmly installed. And then go ahead and release the clip, and then we're going to push down on the plunger, and you're going to push down until you get to that next notch, basically the notch you haven't used yet. And then we'll use that metal clip to lock it in. And there we go.
20 minutes later.
All right, we're almost done. 20 minutes have passed. Let's go ahead and remove the syringe. There we go. And then we'll grab our razor blade and go ahead and remove the pedestal and the adhesive disc. Now be very careful of this step. You don't want to hurt yourself, nor do you want to scratch the windshield. Just take the razor blade and go around the disc, loosen it up. And then it should be able to peel right off just like that. Perfect. And then we'll go ahead and take the rest of the adhesive disc off. Then I'll go ahead and take the razor blade and just go ahead and clean off any leftover material until it's nice and smooth. And there we go. And then I'll wipe it down with my microfiber cloth. And now we'll go ahead and grab that leftover resin we had from earlier and a curing strip. And we're going to put a little bit of amount right on that curing strip. That looks about good. And then I'm going to flip it over and put that right back on that chipped area. And while holding it in my finger, I want to go ahead and grab the razor blade. And I'm going to smooth out the top of this curing strip. The whole idea is you want to remove any air bubbles between the windshield and the strip. And notice I'm starting from the center and working my way outward. I'm pushing the air bubbles out of the square.
1 hour later.
And after an hour's passed, we remove the curing strip. So I'm going to take my razor blade and lift right under it, and it should peel right off. Now I did an hour because it's cloudy out, but if you have direct sunlight, you can wait 15 minutes. And that came off nice and easy. And I'll use the razor blade just to go ahead and clean off the rest of the area, make it nice and flat. And for our very last step, let's go ahead and clean our windshield one more time. So go ahead and grab your glass cleaner and your microfiber cloth and just make sure it's nice and thoroughly clean just to see how the results look. So let's take a look at our finished product. Now it's going to be kind of hard to see with the reflection, but you can still see a little bit of the indication there was a chip there, but it's not as bad. The whole idea is we don't want this to spread, but we also want to try to make it disappear as well, but it's not too bad. So let's go ahead and take a look at it before and after. So this is what it looks like before, and I have to use the pen to try to help focus so the camera can actually see where the chip is. And then I'll zoom in just to get a better detail of how it looks. You can still see a little bit indication that there is a chip there. And with working with this kit, I typically have positive results. There's times I've done repairs on cracks or chips, and it virtually disappears. All I see is a little tiny dot within the windshield. And there's other times, like you see in this video, where you still see a silhouette of a chip or crack. But at minimum, at least this repair keeps this chip turning into a crack, which can ruin our windshield. Well, hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, please like and subscribe.